Lots of stories in the papers, but over the weekend, a lot of outrage as well.
Yeah.
And for good reason. Throughout, there was a lot of outrage for different reasons. The main ones were the one over in the U.S.
Yes.
with George Floyd killing by policemen, and the riots and protests. So there are protests, there's rioting, and there's also looting taking place across many states in the U.S. from California to Georgia, especially in Atlanta, Chicago, New York, all the big cities, Washington, D.C. People are out on the streets and, demanding justice for Floyd. And the government is listening. They're responding to them. Even the police force, a lot of them are saying, I think it's time for reckoning because of the racism, the intense racism in the country. And we talked about that
we did last week. I think it's really good that the government is actually paying attention to it. And as much as there's looting and there's rioting and there's protest, I feel like there's been a lot of downsides to it, but I think if they didn't come out this way, this would have just been another death that happened. So I'm hoping that this actually gets them the justice that they deserve, and African Americans can be seen as equals to the white Americans.
Very
because
true.
I think it's long overdue.
It's long overdue. It's been on. It's a systemic kind of racism that is hard to get rid of. Yes. Because people on two sides are raised to think differently about each other. So the black is raised to think about the whites as with distrust. Yeah. Okay, I can't trust the white man or whatever. And then the white man is raised to look at the black man as someone who is second rate. Yes. So you treat them differently. Yeah. Whether you're a security guard, if you're white and the other person is black, you feel you're higher. You're higher. We're working at the same place. Like, no, I'm a security guard. You're probably a manager in the company. Yeah, you still. But I'm still giving you attitude. Yes.
Even when they're like at the same place, the same level, they still feel like they are the primary citizens and you are the secondary. Yeah. And they're somewhat more important than you. And it starts from the smallest unit, which is the family. When the dad is taking the son out, and maybe the son comes back from school with his friend who is African American, and next, no, don't come to our house. Yeah. Those little things start to instill the sense in the child that starts to feel, oh, okay, what's wrong? Oh, this guy is lower than I am.
So in America, there's deep-seated resentment in black people because they feel like the reason why they're poor, the reason why there's this vicious cycle of poverty. Yeah. Poverty from generation to generation. There are people who, first generation is poor, second generation is poor, third generation is poor. They're still living in Harlem and all this slums all over America. And it just seems like they can't get out. Yeah. It's really, really bad. So now all that resentment is what's coming out. Yes. And they're looting shops, and it's crazy. It just feels like what you saw back in the 60s when after Martin Luther King was killed. Oh, yeah. That. And then I did see something on the internet. Denzel Washington was driving, and he saw an African American being now it wasn't attacked or harassed. He just saw that they weren't treating him right by policemen, and he stopped. And if the picture showed how he used his car to wage like a block between them and the policeman and the African American, and he took him and probably got him something. The message wasn't really clear. Got him something to eat or drink, and people said, as much as you're calling out celebrities for not doing anything, see, Denzel Washington didn't have the time to start recording, or this is me helping a fellow African American. Was somebody else who saw it?
Yeah, someone who saw it and took a picture, and he went to say that he used his position because they recognized him and they respected him. Yeah. But then he said, imagine what would have happened if I didn't pass at that time. So as much as people are out there trying to make a point, some white policemen are still doing the same thing.
Imagine if Denzel wasn't Denzel.
Exactly.
For just another random black man.
Oh, they'll probably add him to
of course, they'll arrest both of them. Yeah. And then, of course, speaking again of protests, back in Nigeria, again, a lot of outrage over the weekend. Justice initially was justice for Tina, that was trending, and then suddenly something out of Benin, really sad and horrific story about another young lady who was raped and killed. Yes. While trying to read, and the stories are still a bit murky. Yeah. Some people are saying it was done in broad daylight. Some people are saying it was done at night. But she went to read the particular location not too far from her house.
Yeah.
And then she was attacked. And so this kind of a thing, I like the response that it's generating. Yesterday, Governor Obaseki said, he's ordered the police to look into it, do a thorough investigation, go out there and find the killers of this girl. It's a really, really terrible situation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I really am impressed at the governor's interest, because this is not the first rape case we're having in Nigeria, and the way it gets easily swept under the carpet, and the way it has almost been commonized, like rape is like robbery, which it happens, oh, okay, happened, oh, okay, and we move on. And now I like the fact that I think like this is a time for everybody to be aware of what is not right is not right. And on social media yesterday, I did see a lot of trends of people, a thread rather of conversations of people say you have to educate the male child as much as from when he's a teenager and he starts to pick interest in a girl, he needs to understand that no is no. And because you look at it from the grassroots level of how this man was not educated as a boy to understand that it has to be consensual. Like a girl has to give her consent, and if she doesn't give her consent, that's even if she's your friend. And then I saw one comment of someone saying, even if she invited you to her house, or even if you invited her to your house, even if she came does not mean that that's yes, do you get? Because someone will come online and be narrating a rape case, and then you're saying, how is it rape when you went to his house? It's still rape. So I think like our mindsets also need to shift, and we also need to open our minds to, it could be your sister, and would you still have the same opinion? Because there's this thing that Nigerians say, I don't know her now, why will I be fighting the battle? But now it's really impressive that we're now living more as communal people who are not looking at it as, since I'm not from Benin or I'm not from Kaduna, so it's not my problem.
So I also like the fact that I think one of the things that's helping this generate a lot of power at the moment over the last 48 hours has been lots of celebrities are talking about this. You have Rita Dominic, you have Kate Henshaw, that's the older actresses.
Even
and then you have, and then you have musicians talking about it. You have young musicians like Rema tweeting about it several times yesterday.
I think Rema grew up in Benin. Or
so. He did. So lots of them are tweeting about it, and they're like, look, this person is just starting her life. She's probably still a teenager, and this has happened to her, so she didn't even get a chance to express herself and do the things that she wanted to do. So the celebrities getting involved is important, because if you identify a cause and you speak up about it, then more people get to know about the topic, as opposed to just random people talking about it on Twitter and then it doesn't gain any steam. Once a celebrity takes up something and then they speak. So the reason why they're a celebrity or why they're an influencer is because you can influence people's opinions.
Yes, you can.
So if I have 1 million followers, for instance, and I say rape is bad, my 1 million followers see it, and then it begins to generate a different kind of thinking than they were thinking before, especially if it's someone that I really respect. And then they begin to tell me that, don't do this. This is what's important. I think that's also what when you're talking about Denzel Washington earlier. The fact that it's a celebrity, so lots of people respect him. Oh, this is the right thing to do.
Exactly.
And then you can then do it, as opposed to everybody keeping quiet. So people are not keeping quiet about this. You know, I mean, the last 24 hours has been crazy. I mean, I was seeing it. It was steady, consistent, until the governor responded. You know?
That's good. And it's really impressive that the governor responded, because we know that we're dealing with other things, coronavirus and the rest, but this is to show that as much as we have other things happening, someone losing a life is important, because to be honest, it got to a point where we started to see like people dying in Nigeria was now becoming normal. Like when you read about deaths, nobody's reacting. So this uproar from people and the governor responding shows that, okay, we're beginning to get back in touch with our emotions and our
very
sense
important,
for humanity.
because otherwise you just see people are just numb and immune to
pain
things happening around them, because it's so much. Sometimes when it's a bit too much, you want to not think about it and just shy away from it, so that you don't feel weighed down and depression sets in, because you just feel like, okay, you know what, or you just feel like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I'm leaving this country. You see, but at this point, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? There's nowhere to go, so just chill, speak up, you know, lend your voice to any of these causes. It doesn't have to be a specific cause. It doesn't have to be rape. It can be something else affecting a child or people around you, or you speak up about
And if you even see anything in your environment where you live about anyone being abused in any form of way, don't just start recording. Do something there to make it stop.
Yeah.
But then, before we go all motivating on you guys, it's time for a short break. We'll return with more shortly.